During the medieval period, there were distinct differences between nobles and peasants in England. The centuries-long tradition in feudalism in England meant that there was a rigid social hierarchy and extreme differences between the lives of the upper and the lower classes.
Bread was one of the most important foods of this time, since it was cheap, filling, and versatile. So important that some historians estimate up to 70% of a peasant's diet was grain. But bread eaten then looked very different than bread today. Wheat was too expensive for peasants to grow, so they used rye and barley to make harder and darker breads. Typically, the darker the bread was, the cheaper it was to make. This meant bread was a good indicator of class at the time, since only nobility could afford expensive wheat bread.
Peasants didn't eat much meat, mainly eating vegetables and bread. The little meats that peasants did eat were usually white meat such as chicken, hare, or pork, and they kept those animals on their own farms. On the other hand, the nobility in medieval England ate an abundance of meat by contrast. They enjoyed a very wide variety of meat, such as mutton, pork, deer, crab, oysters, salmon, etc. In the early 1500s, seafood was mainly found in noble manors, only for the rich people. However, in 1563, Queen Elizabeth passed a law that mandated that all English citizens eat fish on Mondays to help support the fishing industry. The bad thing is that if you don't follow the law, you get locked up for 3 years. Vegetables were generally seen as peasant food during this time period, since it was cheaper to eat homegrown crops than meat that had to be raised or hunted.
In terms of drinks, every hour was happy hour in medieval England. This was because most water wasn't clean enough to drink on its own, so ale was the most popular beverage for all classes and ages, including children. Luckily, the ale peasants drank was typically very weak, and stronger ales will save for more special occasions. Nobles drank ale as well, but could also afford to import expensive wines for formal events from outside countries such as Spain, Greece, or France.